Hi, everybody. Does everybody hear me? Um, I'm not sure. I see a bunch of thumbs up, so thank you. Okay, I'm just going to start. Hi, everybody. My name is Taki Jaffrey. I lead product management at this company called Doccugami. We're based in the Seattle area, specifically Kirkland. But nowadays, because of COVID, we are completely operating as an online company. So we are currently hiring all over the US. So just a little bit of info about what we do as a company, and then I would love to take questions. So we are a document engineering company. Specifically, document engineering is the entire field of understanding documents, searching for documents, building reports on top of documents, as well as creating documents. Things like data mining and search all come into this overall big umbrella of document engineering. We raised our first external financing this January. It was a seed round. You can read all about us online. The company itself was formed 3 years ago. It's a whole series of document luminaries. So if you go to doccugami.com, you'll see that our CEO Jean-Paul Lee is the person who created XML, as well as the DocX and XLSX formats. On our board is Bob Muglia, who ran Microsoft Office for a while. Recently did Snowflake, and also thank you, Mosma, for the link. So anyway, we are of course would love to talk to anybody who has skills in machine learning, NLP, deep learning concepts. Not just NLP, we also do a fair bit of computer vision work. We have some scientist roles. Those are only open to PhD candidates, but we also have a back-end software engineering role open. So if you're either one of those two, if you either have a PhD in a related area, NLP, machine learning, the computer vision, please apply to the scientist role. If you're a back-end developer, you don't have to know any machine learning for the back-end developer role. But if you work on Kubernetes or container deployments, please apply for the latter. For the second role, I see we've got a lot of applications already on for the backend role through the system. We are looking for people with some experience. So if you're completely fresh out of college, that may be a bit tough for now. However, whatever I can do to help, just in general, point you in the right direction, I'd be happy to. So I think that's a fair bit of background. Maybe let's take some questions next. I'm also happy to elaborate if I miss something. I'm looking at the chat. If somebody wants to chat, type a question or just ask. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So Prema, you asked what are the particular skills you're looking for in the back-end software engineer role? We don't honestly think in terms of like what languages you need to know. But if you've done like any sort of professional grade work on the back end, let's say Python, .NET, Java, we'd be interested. Because it's the back end dev role. So if you've done you've actually worked on like the deployment space, if you've ever let's say deployed databases or like done like DevOps to keep like a service, running with some sort of SLA uptime, we'd be interested. So if you have like basically a real life experience on any stack, honestly, we'd be happy to talk to you. Now, there's another question Ruchika asked, which is the hiring process. So when you apply, we actually do read all of the applications, and we do a quick filter based on experience, and then we actually have a take-home assignment that we send people. It's a coding assignment. It's time-bound. It's not something that you can easily find the answer to on the internet, but it's a coding assignment. If you do that and you submit your coding assignment, it passes all the unit tests. Somebody will look at the submission, and then there's an interview process after that. So somebody's asking if somebody has an F1 OPT. I think that's fine. We don't prevent you from applying if that's the case. So the hiring process is exactly the same. We are already currently working through the employment eligibility process there is in the U.S. with our law firm for a couple of folks who already work for us. So we'd be happy to do this for the right candidates as well, assuming you pass all the other criteria. So yeah, an F1 OPT would be fine because you're already in the U.S. and allowed to work. Shika is asking, any chance of recruiting a master's degree holder with 5+ years of experience for the data science role? So far, our scientists are actually working on some government grants. So I don't think we've publicly announced the names of the grants yet, so I will not do that right now. But we have some grants from the U.S. government, which our scientist team is working on from some well-known parts of the U.S. government. So unfortunately, the eligibility criteria for it's not ours. We don't care about your degree, but allowed to work on those projects, you need a PhD. So unfortunately, that is the criteria for the scientist team. So Anusha is asking a PM intern. So the product roles, she's asking, basically, are there any more product roles? So by the way, I lead product, so that's my team. So unfortunately, I already filled all the roles in my team. So I don't really have any open heads right now for the product management team. We are hoping to open up to more new heads, but I can't promise that. It's contingent on some additional funding. Right now, we don't have any product roles, sorry. So thank you. Nikita is asking, do we have any non-tech roles? I apologize, Nikita, we don't. Those are the only 2 roles we have right now, of a backend dev role and a scientist role. So Zara is asking, she's very interested in applying. Yeah, thank you, Zara. I would love to see your application. Like I said, there's a process. We'll look at the application, then we'll graduate you to the take-home coding assignment. You'll submit the coding assignment. We'll go from there. Randolph is asking, I'm fresh out of data science bootcamp and have 16+ years as a teacher professor. Yeah, Randolph, I would suggest maybe apply for the backend dev role if you feel up to it. I think the only issue is we would just have to see if your particular experience, is you have enough of the, let's say, the infrastructure experience. If you could just talk about that in your application, that's what I would recommend. Like, have you worked with Docker? Have you worked with Kubernetes? Have you worked with any of these kind of infrastructure deployment and management systems? That's what the backend devs do. If you have any database experience, for example, that would help your application stand out. So Ruchika is asking, is remote working allowed? Yeah, we already have remote workers all over the US. In fact, ever since COVID, we are a remote-only company. We don't have a physical office anymore for the next 18 months at least. So absolutely, remote working is just fine. So Azim is asking, what cloud solution do we use, AWS, Azure, or other? So we actually have a hybrid cloud, Azim. So we have a little bit of everything. We do our, let's say, our GPU heavy compute on one cloud. I'm not going to say which. And then we actually have our front end hosted on a different cloud that probably you could sniff if you know how to. You could probably guess which one that is. So yeah, it's a hybrid cloud solution. Sneha is asking, are there any openings for UX roles? So we don't actually have a different UX role, Sneha. The way we're doing this is just in the product org, we have one person who's more of a front end PM. That person used to be a designer in a past life, but now is doing product. So we're a small company, right? So that's it. That's the only thing we have, which is UX. So that person does product management, which is classic product management, as well as on the side does some design. As we grow and we have more design work, we were just thinking we'd just get a contractor to do design. So none of the devs are, let's say, UX only devs. They're all full stack, or some are more back end. Wow, they're great questions, folks. Keep them coming. Good. Shruti asked, I have 7 years of work experience as a full stack developer. Yeah, we don't really consider the gap an issue. Indeed, one of the people who we currently have, we hired recently, she had a gap, and yeah, there's not a problem at all. I think you should just apply. The bar is the same for everybody. And generally, we do read all the applications. It's actually quite a lot of effort that we put into it. So my suggestion, Shruti, would be apply. For the backend role, unfortunately, that's the only role we have right now. And if you're interested, I would say apply. We'd give you the take-home assignment. You'll work on that, and if you do well, we'd love to talk to you. Yeah, I think if you look at the job description, so Sri is asking. So if you look at in our our hiring roles, I think I'm just looking at it once again. So let me share my screen as well, just to show people. I know we're running out of time probably. And Zara, I'm going to answer your question in a second. So I'm just sharing my screen here just to show everybody our careers page. And here you'll see our our roles that are open. You can just apply directly here as well. So to answer your use of experience question, it's written right there. It's the same for everybody. So this one is actually slightly more experience is required. So I would say if you've got 5, go ahead and apply, because that's close to 7. I mean, it can't hurt. But it is unfortunately a very, very demanding role. So that's why we put that level of experience in there. So Zara, document engineering is just again, if you go to our website, I'm not going to try to project my screen again. We actually published an open letter. Document engineering used to be, if you Google it, it used to be kind of something in vogue like 30 years ago. Then it fell out of fashion. Okay, thank you. I think Mosma called time on me. Zara, just reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to answer.